Good morning, everybody. This feels so strange, but it feels kind of cool as well. I've been up since about, well, I've been awake since about 5 a.m. and I was just making my cup of tea there before I came through, and I thought to myself, what if nobody turns up for this stream? I'll have got out of bed for nothing. And I am absolutely delighted that there's 10 of you here already. That's amazing. Thanks, guys. It's so nice as well to see the likes of Terry. It's 8:30 at night for Terry. Terry always sticks her head in on the streams, and it's like a ridiculous time of day. So I am delighted to see Terry here. Hello and thank you for coming in, but also Laura as well. Laura we don't see much of in the streams either because again in the US time zones. It's lovely to see you, Laura, so welcome and thanks for coming. And we've got Angela as well. Good morning, Angela. How you doing? And we've got Polly as well. Polly's an insomniac. Welcome, Polly. It's lovely to have you here as well. We do have Thea this morning as well. Thea is obviously closer to my time zone. Thea's only an hour in front of me, so it's pretty early on a Saturday morning for her as well. But yeah, thanks for showing up, guys. This is great. And there's something really nice about being sat at this desk in my pyjamas. Like, oh, this is fun. To be fair, this being a weekend, normally I have like a jam-packed schedule, but I'm actually not too bad today, so this is very leisurely for me. I am in here myself. The dogs are still in the kitchen. Mr. Jem's not up yet. He will probably surface at some point in the next hour. So I've left the dogs through because when Mr. Jem gets up, the dogs go crazy. Like there's yelping and squeaking and jumping about, so I've just kept them through there just now. But when we take a wee break halfway through, I'll probably let them back through and we'll return to standard configuration. Hello V, good afternoon from Perth, Western Australia. Yay! Love it. So anyway, I'm all geared up. I've got a bit of a curveball for you this morning. Some of you might like this, some of you might not, but we will change activities at about the halfway point. I'm planning on running the stream for about 2 hours, thank you, Angela. Normally we do have an intermission and then I swap activities halfway through, so if you don't like this, if you want to wait an hour and come back, might be something you like. But I'd like to show you what I have here. Remember this book? Ticket to Dreams by Karolina Kubikowska. I have not coloured in either of Carolina's books because I've got a Podriege Strony Snoo as well. Wow, that's a mouthful for an early morning. But this one specifically is all in water soluble media, so you can see I've got Julia Kay's paints out. I do have my Old Faithful Cotmans here as well, and I want to start this double page, and I thought this would be a nice way to ease myself into arting at 6:30 in the morning. So yes, I hope this is met with approval from some of you at least, but as I say, we'll change activities, we'll have a wee chat about what we want to see because I've got quite a lot of projects on the go, and we'll switch to something else in about an hour's time. Just to make a comment about the pyjamas, this set it's a shorts and t-shirt set with the like the fleecy over thing. It's far too cold here to wear shorts at night, so I've actually got grey jogging bottoms on, so I feel as if I'm kind of letting the side down on the matchy front, but yeah, it's like we're still in the minuses Celsius at night, and there's no way I'm running about in shorts and t-shirts. So anyway, Polly's got four dogs. Oh wow, like I felt like 3 was too many. we always had 3, we're now down to 2, and I like having 2 much better. I spend quite a lot of time managing the dogs myself, and it's easier to have 2 because you know you've got 2 hands and etc. Yeah, I'm sure you know the drill, Polly. Yeah, you got your best buddy's dog in bed with you as well. It's amazing. Right, okay, so to get started here, I have Nat. So Nat is the paint that Julia and I concocted together. So it is a nice deep rich blue with a bit of sparkle. This is clearly a nighttime scene. There's stars and moons and things. So I thought that would be a good place to start, and I'm going to get that done. The paper in this book is fantastic. It's really just thick card. It's not watercolour paper, but because of the thickness of it, it can withstand a little bit of water. So as long as you go steady with watercolour or any other water soluble media, we usually get on quite well. The paper texture is smooth, so it allows you to get a nice smooth wash if you work quickly, but it also lends itself to adding lots of texture because the paper absorbs the paint really quickly, so therefore it dries and you can go in subsequent layers and make patterns and shapes and brush strokes without having to wait ages for it to dry. So I really like it for that. So although it was not its original intended purpose, I actually find it quite beneficial. So I'm going to take a fairly big brush. I think I'm going to go with this Jackson's Raven brush. I love these brushes. It was Julia, I'm just checking my focus, it was Julia that put me onto this and I really like it. It's quite absorbent without being too absorbent. Again, we don't want the water content to be massive, especially in these initial layers, so take some of that off and I'll get that going. Make sure I've got some sparkle in there. So let me zoom in a wee bitty. And we'll start up in this corner. I do feel like I need to roll my sleeves up though. Nero's in his hammock. Is he not giving you the side eye this morning, Thea? Be like, what is she doing? So I've got some nice places to stop here, just with the clouds, so we'll go with that. See, I'll maybe get 2 layers down on with Nat. It depends how, I'll wait and see how it dries because I've not used this paint in this book before. As I say, it's been such a long time since I've even put a paintbrush in here, so I'm not really sure how this is going to go, but we will work at it. We will see. Pop it in. The thing I like about this Raven brush is it's got quite a nice point on it, so if you're wanting to get round, you know, more kind of awkward shapes like we've got here with the clouds, it's pretty good for that. And this one seems to be a really good size. I think this is the smallest size that they do in these Raven brushes. I might be telling you lies there, but see, it is a Jackson's brush. You can always check out the Jackson's website, and it's very affordable as well, actually. I'll say I quite like it. I don't like that I've got this line here. May have to do something about that. Just kind of making up where that's going to end there. But see, normally on this paper, I'll go at least 2 layers with watercolour, maybe 3 at a push. I wouldn't want to go much more than that because I think you'd start to upset the actual surface of the paper, you know, like the integrity of the surface. You get some bobbly bits or whatever, so we'll try and avoid that. See, this is what I was saying about getting some texture down. You don't have to wait long for this at all. Ooh. Good morning, Ulrika. How are you? I spy Nat paint. Yes, you do. You do. You do. Used it in your Christmas cards. Well, that's good. Oh, we've got Roseanne as well. Good morning, Roseanne. How are you? Oh, we've got quite a few early birds. I love it. Honestly, I didn't know how many people would actually, you know, for those of you that are in a similar time zone to myself, honestly didn't know how many of you I would see this morning. I was just saying earlier when I started the stream, I did have that thought, like, what if no one turns up? And then I thought, well, I would just sit and paint anyway. See, we've got this little bit in here, like, oh. Oh. Kind of assaulted that star there a wee bit. That's one thing about doing this at this time of day. I mean, although I'm often awake at this time, I'm not normally doing dexterous things at this time, so it might take a wee while for my hand to actually get going. It's all new. Two Maltese, a Morkie. I take it that's a Maltese crossed with a Yorkie, a Shih Tzu, and the guest is a £20 mini golden doodle. Good grief, Polly, you have got your hands full. A mini golden doodle, so that must be crossed with a smaller poodle then, I would imagine. Rather than say a standard poodle. Would that be correct, Polly? I'll just stick with my collies, thanks. I mean, they are high energy, and you do need to sort of keep them occupied, as it were. But they're fabby dogs. They're very obedient. They're really easy to train. They will pester the life out of you for a tennis ball, though, but that's kind of standard. Okay, I'm just going to do my best to get in these in between these rings here. I don't really like ring bound, but I've never liked ring bound books for this reason. See, if you stick your tongue out when you're doing this, it helps. There's a star in behind there as well. Oh goodness me, I might need to use a smaller brush for that. Get in there. Oh. Stick in. I don't even know if that's clouds under there or... Oh, there's the edge of the cloud there. Right, okay. Nice. You can see this side, like this is drying a lot lighter. I'm starting to get my sparkle coming through now. I've got this weird line all the way across. I think this might be the paper. Can you see it's almost like a border? I'm not mad about that though. You've been awake since 4:30? Oh yeah. You could have messaged me because I was awake. Only just at that point, right enough. I'm sorry that you were awake because I know that that's probably not a good reason for you, but at least you're here. The golden doodle is the biggest, yeah, that is a correct assumption. Okay, yeah, I thought so, Polly. Doodles, oh my. Right, okay, see this part here, this is dry already. Obviously the rest of it's not, but I've got some nice sparkle going on around these turrets here. Ooh. So clearly this was going to be a moody sky. I might change to a larger brush and just try and get, try and smooth it off a little bit. I'm kind of reluctant to use this, there you go, I was telling you lies. That I do have another Raven brush and it's a 0 and it's much bigger. I think that must be the smallest Raven brush that you can get. But this is very, like, that's very moppy and I don't want to pick up that much water. Let me see what else I've got. Got this Cotman Filbert, well, that might be a better, let me see. Or maybe, decisions. I don't really want a flat brush, honestly, but just to get a bit of a sweep, that might be better. Right, I'll ponder that for a minute or two. For these clouds, I was thinking pinky purples, and the reason for that is if I just flip over the page, I think it's the next page. No, it's not the next page. Yeah, I see I'd used similar sort of colours here, in these clouds here, so I was thinking maybe, well, you know, something of that ilk, shall we say. And I really like the Dioxazine Purple and the Purple Lake in the Cotman set. So I'm going to grab a smaller brush. What have we got here? So good old faithful Sea White number 6. And I think I'll grab some Purple Lake to begin with. So this is the Cotman paints. And let's start with, I might actually water that down a wee bit. Put that in. I'm trying to put things where you can see them so you can see what I'm doing. Grab some of this. See, this is where I want texture. Like I need this in here now. But I'm just going to do the tops of some of these clouds. Like this. Dodgy shoulders woke me up, yeah. 2 teas in already and thinking of a third. The tea fixes everything. Laura, I haven't arted for so long, health issues stopped me and then I lost all motivation. My daughter bought me a watercolour colouring book for Christmas to help encourage me with a less daunting place to start. And look, here we are. Haven't started yet, but looking forward to it. Well, maybe today I'll give you a little bit of go-go juice. That's really funny, actually, that you've come into this stream and here I am using watercolour in a colouring book. That's really funny. That was meant to be, Laura. Well, I hope you're feeling well enough to do a little bit of arting. I'm sure that would be nice for you, and I'm sure it would cheer you up a little bit, because you know what it's like. You get a kind of sense of accomplishment out of these things. Once you get something done. Now, I'm just going to let that kind of go. Ugh. So that's actually tinted the paper, but not much, but I kind of like it. move this hand out the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the dioxazine in at the bottom of the clouds, like just at the bottom. So I'm not mad about bringing this colour, down into these areas, because it will be covered up with a slightly darker colour. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I think that's going to be the same colour. You guys can't see what I'm doing. My head's in the way. There. Better. I think one of the reasons I like watercolouring in this book is because the art style's quite loose as well. Like, it's quite scribbly, and I feel like it doesn't need to be extremely precise. I love this colour. Like, it's such a nice colour. Get some clean water in there. These wee stars are so cute. Woo! I'm already thinking, like, what colour are these flags going to be? I haven't given any thought to colour schemes per se. So if anybody has any suggestions or any strong feelings about particular areas of the image, I am all ears. I just knew that I thought the sky should be nat because it was a nighttime scene, and because I'd used the the purpley colours for the clouds before, that was all that was really going on here, honestly. So let's get a layer of this down all the way around here. Try and avoid these cute little stars. Wee. I feel like my pyjamas are very in keeping with this right now. Matchy matchy. We'll do like a bit of matchy matchy. There we go. Okay. Oh, I love this image. It's nice. Is watercolour my preferred media? Pencils first, Polly, coloured pencils. Always, always pencil. On my business card, it actually says Chief Pencil Monster. And then I would say after that, probably a tie. In fact, no, that I would be telling a lie if I said that. Next would be gouache, closely followed by watercolour, but I do tend to use watercolour and gouache in tandem. I will use watercolour for backgrounds and paintings, and then like gouache over the top of them. So that's my sort of preferred order. But I mean, I'm sure if you've seen any of I'm sure you've seen some of the videos that I do. I'm pretty much happy to try anything once, but those are the things I kind of like, always kind of like gravitate back to. I'm not really, the thing is as well though, there's mediums that I like, but I just don't necessarily, when I'm thinking about an art piece, if something comes up in my mind, I'll naturally go towards a specific medium. I mean, things like acrylic paint, I love acrylic paint. It's so forgiving, it's so much fun, but it's just not something I use very often. And I've got more acrylic paint than I know what to do with. It's interesting how I kind of go back to the same things. I suppose everybody has preferences, but I just find it odd. The only one that I kind of not avoid, but we would rather not use as oils, and it's more the setup and the cleanup. I do have a set of water mixable oils there that I want to try out. Sea White have brought out their own ones, and because I think with oils a lot of the time it's more the convenience factor, and you tend to work, when you're working in oil, you tend to work in bigger sizes, bigger canvas sizes, and for filming it's not always great. Like A4 is probably about the biggest you want, just for ease of filming and moving stuff about, having space on your desk. Because if I set something up in an easel, I've got to move all the cameras and everything, and it can be a bit of a pain. So I actually think that the filming aspect of it influences me quite a lot, and that's something I probably didn't realise until you asked that question, Polly, so there you go. PJs have penguins on them, and you have a Doctor Who dressing gown. Penguins and Doctor Who. That is one of the coolest things ever. I am not a Whovian. I'm not a Doctor Who fan at all. But there seems to be quite a few of you, a few cavers that are really into Doctor Who. Right, let's see how this is doing. I think I'll go back to Nat. I'm not sure that's dry enough yet. No, right, we'll give that another little minute. I suppose I could use this time to decide on rooftops and turrets. What do we think about a subtle, like an ambery gold colour for the roof tiles? And do we want different colours for, like, say the turret's one colour and then the peak, got to do the actions, the peaked roof's another colour? I feel like that would give us, I don't know here. Or even the sides of these buildings, I'm not sure. Because one of the things I thought about, I'm just brain farting away here, I'm like kind of rambling to myself. I actually thought if we used bright colours for everything and kept the walls like grey or, like a much darker muted colour, that would give us a nice sort of contrast. Because I've got some really nice, like, subtly shimmery greys. Like, see if we look at this row down here. So we've got Uda, which has got like a little gold fleck in it, but it's not like really sparkly. Frank's a good one as well. It's more of a sheen rather than a sparkle. So we could use those for like the walls of the buildings, and then we could keep everything else and like have like really brightly coloured roofs. That would work. Winnie the Pooh PJs. Thea's loving all the different pyjamas. Frank looks nice for walls. You like the idea of Frank? Okay, thanks, Ulrika. Have I tried the pencils by Bambino? Do you know that is a brand that I haven't tried, Polly? It's probably one of the very few that I haven't tried. Will we go with Frank for walls? We've got some trees in here as well, so we can make them quite nice, vibrant green colours as well. Okay, let's do the walls because that's far enough away from everything else that I've painted so far. There's this bit of ground on the bottom here as well, so I'm not sure what we'll do with that, but we'll figure it out. So it's all very relaxed. Right, I think I want a flat brush for this. So, where is that flat brush? Not the Factus one I had in my hand earlier. So, yep, here's a See White number 6 flat. I do sell the flat brushes in the shop as well. I don't think many people realise that. Obviously, I'm always talking about the round brushes because I use the See White round brushes all the time, but I do sell the flat brushes as well. And they go up to quite big sizes as well. You know, it's not just little dinky ones. This is a size 6. I think I've got up to a 12 or maybe even a 14. The Bambino are a clay base. You really like them. I shall look into that, Polly. That sounds interesting. I like that. In 2 weekends, all my kids and my 2 eldest grandkids are coming for the weekend, and we're going to have a Harry Potter marathon for the whole weekend. All 8 movies. British Harry Potter themed food. Oh, that sounds so fun. I don't like, I'm not into the books, but I love the Harry Potter films. I actually only watched all of them, like, completely I think maybe a year and a half ago. I'd seen, like, the first couple, but I hadn't seen the later ones. And I completed that. Yeah, that wasn't Christmas there. That was the Christmas before when Mr. Jem wasn't well, and we were all, like, we were in the house, like, watching movies because Mr. Jem wasn't well, so there you go. Right, let's get Frank on the go. I'm going to have to give this a wee scoosh. I might actually take Frank out of here. This is quite a new pan. I did have a little pan because Julia had sent me a test pan. And although it was a half pan, as in the physical part, the paint was only, you know, like a third full. So I haven't actually used this one yet. Ooh. Give it a scoosh. Let that do its thing. Oh, Terry's got the Bambino crayons. Love them. Hang on a second here. I'm going to have to look these up. Are they an American brand, dear ladies? I would imagine they were Italian with a name like Bambino, but you know. I'm going to look these bad boys up. Oh, the crayons look fun. Colouring pencil crayons. Pencil crayons. Oh, I can get them on Amazon. Oh, currently unavailable. Boo. Not an American brand. Oh, no. Okay, I can't get them on Amazon UK. Do they do an actual pencil though, or is it just crayons? Oh no, there's... see, there's... I see triangular colour pencils. And then I see like kids' pencils. I might struggle to get them. Interesting. Right, I shall delve into that a bit more later. Both crayons and pencils. Yeah, I'll have a little dig about later. I don't want to take up the stream searching for pencils. Right, Frank. Oh, this is such a nice colour. So I feel like we can really... need a little bit more water. That was very concentrated. This is the thing about using handmade watercolours, and I'm not having a dig at Julia here. The formulas can be very different. You know, it's not the same as buying, you know, like a set of watercolours. And some can be really vibrant, and you only need a tiny little bit of water, and others need a bit more encouragement. Frank is one of those ones that's quite intense. See, I would like to have a sort of lighter layer, and then I can build up some texture, you know, build up the kind of saturation of the colour over maybe another 2 layers. But that, I think that was a really good choice because the shimmer is there, like it is there, but it's quite subtle. And again, with a dark colour like this, because the line work's quite heavy in places as well, I like to be able to, you know, for the hatching and things to show through a wee bit. So let's just steady Eddie a little bit here. Hello Snookat, how are you doing? You didn't miss the stream. No, I think this is more suited to your time zone, so I'm glad that you're here. See, we've got some very nighty night owls over in the States there, which is nice. I mean, that was kind of the point of doing a stream at this time. I mean, not that I'm normally, you know, I'm not up and arting at, you know, 6:30 in the morning normally, but I am up. Normally by 6:30 I am up and getting dressed and, you know, starting my day kind of thing. But I'm awake usually sometime between 5 and 6. And that's a natural thing. I don't, I never use an alarm, and it's something that quite a lot of people comment on, like, and they're like, you don't set an alarm. I'm like, no, well, I don't need one. I just seem to wake up naturally really early, and I've always been like that. If you ever were to ask Mama Jem, she'll tell you, even as a newborn baby, I was awake by 6 o'clock, and my parents thought there was something wrong to begin with, because obviously they weren't trying to set that as a routine, because who wants that? But I've always been like that. And we've had the conversation quite often about nature versus nurture. Papa Jem is a very early riser, and so is my Italian grandmother, so his mum. And they were farmers as well, so I don't know whether it's just maybe like generations of getting up early and it's kind of like stuck with us, or whether it's something genetic. I'm not really very sure. But there's something really nice, and it's something I miss about going out to dairy farms and taking milk samples. There's something very nice about being the only person, well, I say the only person, but you know, one of very few people that's up and going while the rest of the world's still asleep. It's very peaceful, it's very calm. And quite often at weekends, like see on a Sunday, if Mr. Jem has a lie-in, which he does occasionally on a Sunday, I actually really like getting up early while he's still sleeping and just having like a quiet hour or two to myself. There's something just really nice about that. And in the summer I like to sit outside with a cup of tea and not do anything, but just sit, you know, maybe enjoy the sun coming up, drink my cup of tea, and just sort of be at peace with the world. I find that really calming, really relaxing, and like generally very good for my mental health. So I'm a huge, and I mean, I know a lot of people aren't morning people, but there's something very special about it to me. I love it, and hence the reason that I'm here. Yeah, 1 AM Snookat, thought so. Angela never used an alarm, always awake at 4:30. Oh, Rika, you're an early riser too. Do you know, I don't know why, but that doesn't surprise me. I just, that's something that, you know, you've said, and it just, that sounds about right. You know, now that I've gotten to know you quite well, I'm like, yeah, that fits for Ulrika, I like that. Also, you get up, Polly, and do stuff. See, I've kind of got a rule. I've never slept well. There's a few things in life that I'm absolutely terrible at. One is being quiet. The second one is sleeping. And I kind of have a rule for myself, because I went through a huge phase of it really being a problem and I was quite unwell. And if I wake up during the night, because I'm always like, I find it easy to fall asleep most of the time, but if I wake during the night, I find it very difficult to get back to sleep. So the rule is, don't look at the time, don't look at a clock, and try and go back to sleep. You know, no phones, nothing like that. And then if you feel like you're struggling, check the time, try again, and then if it goes past an hour and you're still awake, then get up and do something and try again later. Like, I always try and go back to sleep first. Doesn't always work. But it's really easy to reach for a device when you're awake during the night, and it's so bad for you, like it's not going to help you at all. So I try my hardest to not do that. Really make an effort to, you know, to keep myself in bed. Because the other thing as well is, again, when I really wasn't sleeping and I was seeing the doctor and stuff, he kind of reminded me that he says, even if you're not asleep, it's better to be in bed horizontal and resting. He says, because as long as you're resting, then, you know, your body can still do its job and repair itself, etc., which I thought was quite a good point as well. Hard time falling asleep and staying asleep. Well, when I had actual insomnia, I was a premature waker, which obviously tracks because I get up early, and it just got earlier and earlier. And at one point, I mean, I was awake from 3, and that was me up for the day. And I tried going to bed a little bit earlier at night, but it didn't seem to make any difference. So. But the other thing I've learned as well, because now I go through, like, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but I go through like episodes of poor sleep, and I try not to make a big deal of it, and I try not to worry about it, because I think that makes it worse. Whereas if you just accept that, you know, maybe in 2 weeks or so you'll be back to like a normal sleeping pattern and it'll pass kind of thing. It's like, just try and stay chilled out about it. That seems to help me. I think that's purely a psychological thing, obviously, but then again, insomnia quite often is a psychological thing. So I do find as well, though, it's not happened yet, but when I'm back running regularly and I'm running, you know, more miles than I'm running just now, I sleep like a baby. But that takes a wee while, and I'm not there yet. So maybe I can look forward to better quality sleep once I'm running a bit more. Good morning, Jan. How are you? Of course, we're now after 7 a.m. in the UK here now. Jan's surfaced. How are you this morning, Jan? Are you okay? Let's pop this in here. I've just realised I haven't heard Mr. Jem get up. Maybe he's having a lie-in this morning. It's pretty easy going today. He's only got, well, as far as I know, he's only got cows to feed this morning, so no huge rush. People just need to sleep from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. Oh god, that's like my worst nightmare. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? I couldn't stay in bed if my life depended on it. No chance. I slept till 9 one morning, like actually physically slept until 9. And that was after we came back from Mauritius, and my body wasn't really sure what time zone I was in. And you know, when you include all the travelling together, it's basically 24 hours of travelling, so obviously I was tired. And I got up, I didn't even know what day of the week it was when I got up, and then I looked at the clock and I was like, it's 9 o'clock, I've never slept till 9 o'clock in my life. Felt a bit wrong. Mr. Jem's a fairly good sleeper innerer, though, given a chance. Just wondering if I want to use a slightly different grey for the top of the castle here. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's just stick with the walls for now. But what Mr. Jem finds now is that because he's spent so much of his life getting up early, he does actually find it difficult to sleep in, unless he's physically very, very tired, in which case he can do it. But quite a lot of the time he'll say, oh, you know, I'm going to sleep in, so, you know, I get up at whatever time and tiptoe out and leave him, and then I'll maybe stick my head in on him, and he's like, I've been awake for ages, I'm just lying here. Because, you know, his body clock's trying to get him up. It's quite funny. But especially around really busy times like harvest, I mean, he sleeps like the dead, and you just leave him, because his body's trying to catch up on sleep. Very tired at harvest time. It's my least favourite time of year. I hate harvest, absolutely hate it. And unfortunately we are now on a farm where there's lots and lots of crops versus animals, like the ratio of crops to animals. It's kind of the wrong way around for my liking, but that's just where we are. So Harvest is long, it goes on forever. Mr. Jem and I are like passing ships in the night. And basically my only job is to try and keep him fed, watered, semi-clean and rested. And it's not the easiest thing to do, honestly. Especially when he comes in at 3 in the morning and he's been, you know, out in a tractor since like 7 o'clock the previous morning. It's not great. That's a big butterfly. I think this was a good shout. Once we get, you know, we deepen some of the other colours, I think this is just going to be just right. Snookat, this is, I will show you the cover also, this is Ticket to Dreams by Karolina Kubikowska. It's quite an old book, and that's, I thought I would whip it out because I've not done anything in it for a long time. Karolina's books aren't easy to get now. I don't even know if this is still in print or not, but I love her art style. I've had these books for a long time. I would like to say I've had these since, it's definitely pre-COVID. I want to say maybe 2017, maybe 18, before I got married. Yeah, before I got married. Definitely had this before I got married. That's like my two-way markers for trying to remember, you know, the timeline of things. Obviously COVID was, well, lockdown came in here in early 2020. And before that I got married in 2018. Oh, we have movement. Mr. Jem is awake. Our bedroom is next door, so where the pencil lamp is, like through that wall, that's our bedroom. And I can hear him rumbling about. We have risen. Polly's husband, because yeah, Mr. Jem's exactly the same. Like, you don't have to tiptoe about with him. Like, he's not waking up unless he wants to wake up. Thea, my brain was confused just now because the image ended on the right side. It's a book brain, they have edges usually. Oh, Thea, you're funny. Air Force for 20 years, 46 years of marriage. That's longer than I've been on the planet, Polly. That's amazing. I love to hear about couples that have been together for a long time. Because I always say to Mr. Jem, I want us to be like old and grumpy together. Mr. Jem's already halfway there with that one. But that's amazing. I love that. "46 years of marriage. Wow. That is like literally my entire lifetime and some. It's great. I do wonder though, I would love to hear from you on this. You've known each other almost 61 years, that's amazing. I would like your opinion on this, Polly, because I don't know where the time's gone, because it doesn't seem that long ago. I mean, Mr. Jem and I have been together for 14, 15, nearly 15 years altogether. But I feel as if I got married 10 minutes ago, and it's going to be seven years this year. Yeah, can I count? Yeah, it's going to be 7 years this year, and I'm like, where did 7 years go? Like it's just disappeared like in a flash. Weird. We met this summer, we turned 13 together. Oh, that's so adorable. Oh, I love it, Polly. Okay, I'm quite happy with that as a first layer. I don't know if can you see the twinkle a wee bit? Yeah, there we go. If you look at this turret here. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, I've got this wee one to do here. Missed that one. See, that's just a first layer. I did figure out the colours and stuff, but now I want to go back up to this sky with Nat, and I don't know whether I want to smooth it out or not. I kind of like the paintbrush marks now. My line along here's disappeared a wee bit. That's definitely the paper that's done that though. That's not, 'twas not me. 'Twas not me. Sometimes it feels like yesterday, and other times it feels like forever. Yeah. It's the wedding bit. I'm like, what, 7 years ago? I'm like, ugh, okay. Also the cave, because I started the cave got married in the July and started the cave in the March. So the cave is also 7 years old this year. That's mental. I've got little birdies pecking in the feeder already. It's not even light outside yet. Love that. I'll need to top up their feeder. I might do that in the intermission. Right, I'm still deciding what brush to use. I don't know whether just to risk it for a biscuit and go for... Oh, I could use this black velvet brush. I still want, although I want a bigger brush, I still want something with a point on it because I still want to be able to manoeuvre around. Oh, decisions. Let's go with a black velvet brush, why not? This holds a lot of water though. That is the only concern I have. Good morning, Black Rose. How are you? You are also someone I did not expect to see this morning, but here you are. I kind of need to pin this down, but I don't want to use my clip because I need to paint on it. Let's just use the old finger method. I think I'm going to come this way though. Oh yeah, right, okay, that's kind of more what I was looking for. I should have used this brush to start with. God dang it, Jet. Oh. Ooh, that looks juicy. Trying to get this all together while it's still wet. Smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, that's better. This brush really needs to be wetter than this, but I can't have it wetter than this because of the type of paper. So you can see how the bristles are kind of like at a jaunty angle. That is the reason. Right, I'm a bit happier with that. I still want texture, but that was just a wee bit too blobby. Blobby. Oh. And do you know, in other exciting news, just while we've got Julia's paints out here, Julia sent me a message the other night and she's sending me a surprise paint colour. Apparently she's going to ship that to me next week. So I don't know what it looks like, I don't know what colour it is. So we're going to have a little surprise paint colour, and it's a new paint colour. It's not one that she's had in the shop before. So we'll maybe take a wee look at that at some point, maybe in a live stream, or you know, I might do a wee short video on it or something. Mystery Julia paint. Oh, Karolina Kubikowska has an Etsy shop. Yes, I don't know if she's still producing these particular books, because she did have a publisher, but I don't know if she went to self-publishing or whether she's selling individual bits and pieces, because I know she had like gift cards, come on Jem, greeting cards and things like that the last time I checked, but to be fair, I mean, I haven't looked for a long time. If anyone wants to have a nosy and you know, do a bit of investigation for me and for the rest of the cavers, that would be cool. Otherwise, I'm going to have to write it down and go look myself later. Add it to the list. That's it. I come out these streams with loads of things to go look at. Y'all are enablers. Oh, I just can't deal with that in there. I'm going to put that star in with a bit of gold Posca or something. I think I've absolutely decimated it by accident. Right, much happier with that. Like that's kind of more what I was looking for. Happy Jem. 30 people watching, pardon? Oh good lord, I didn't realise there was so many of you. Hi everyone. Clearly my concerns were unfounded earlier on this morning. Hi Elise, how are you doing? Nice to see you. I was going to say it's the middle of the. There's quite a few of you over there in the US that are night owls. What's going on with you? Oh, we've got Casfea as well. Good morning. Just getting ready to paint with a cup of coffee. Woo! Yeah, I want to, you know, we always do the Wednesday live streams at 3 in the afternoon UK time. That's because that fits in with my schedule, but I realise that for a lot of you, you don't actually get to participate in the lives. And obviously, there's not much we can do about time zone differences, but for me to get up at 6:30 in the morning and do this isn't a stretch for me because I'm awake anyway, and I just thought it would be nice because I want you all to know it doesn't matter whereabouts in the world you are. Like, I appreciate all of you, but it's not the same watching a replay of a live as it is actually being in the live, and like I get that because you know, same thing for me with watching other people. So I just thought this would be a nice thing to do, and I'm absolutely delighted because I've seen some names and faces that I don't see very often in lives, and that makes me really happy. Friday night, finally stay up as late as you want to. That's funny. Okay, right, I'm quite happy with the sky situation now, so once that's dry, I'll pin that down, stop it buckling. Right, okay, I'm going to do Jan's favourite thing. I'm going to have to decide on a light source, a night light source. The moon is black, but we could take that as still a light source. So what we want to do is put some more paint down on these turrets and just give that sense of like shadow and dimension, because if it's nighttime it is going to be shadowy. So I'm going to go back to Frank and I'm going to grab this little flat brush again, get some water on it. So on this far away side, now on rounded objects there shouldn't really be a harsh shadow line if it's curved, but we're using shimmery paint, so you know. Oh, that's just melted. I'm going to have to use a different colour. Damn it. Okay, right, never mind. We'll let that dry. Let's pick out. Oh, what have I got? I might just put a little bit of Payne's Grey. The Payne's Greys. I need something warmer. Maybe if I mix some Payne's Grey with sepia, that might work. I'm trying to see. I'm wondering. I don't know if I want any more shimmer. I could take one of Julia's flat colours. I've got some more of Julia's paints behind me. That's not dark enough either. I don't think I've got anything in here that's going to do the job. In saying that, Freya's quite dark. Hang on. Oh. Good morning, Katara. How you doing? I was thinking about you again this morning. But the fan brush and the googly eyes, I'm going to do a little short which I'm going to put on Instagram, but I'm going to post the picture on the YouTube. They don't call it the community tab anymore, it's just posts. So I'm going to post on YouTube just for you. Just for you. I actually spent time when I was out with the dogs yesterday thinking about how I was going to turn that into a short, and I think I've got it, so that'll be entertaining. So I'm doing that today. That's it. I've got some wee jobs that I need to do, but I've got nothing mega pressing. I don't think I want to. I was going to use Freya because it's kind of. Why do I not have a scrap of paper? Can you imagine being in the cave and not having a scrap of paper around me? This is ridiculous. Right, hang on a little minute. I'll just grab this watercolour book. I might use this as the shadow colour because it's kind of in keeping with the colour scheme. Let's do a guinea pig, see what happens. Oh! And to see how that's going to dry. That might be the answer. It reminded you of Beaker from the Muppets, yeah. Boston, Massachusetts. Laura's suggesting adding a bit of nat to the tower colour, yeah. Gardner, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is a really, really long name to spell. It's very inconvenient. I'm pleased to say that I can identify a Bostonian accent now. For those of us in the UK, like, we have so many very different accents compared to the US, you know, like in size comparison. And a lot of your accents aren't as distinct as ours. But the Bostonian accent, at first I thought, the first time I heard one, I was watching a film and I thought it was someone trying to put on a New York accent and doing a terrible job of it. And then with a bit more education, I realised that it's a Bostonian accent. It's really interesting to listen to. So yeah, but also the New York thing, it makes sense geographically for an untrained ear. But I'm generally quite good with stuff like that. See, because I speak to people on the phone all day, I tend to pick up on, you know, even sort of nuances in accents, and quite often I've picked up on a few people that have, you know, been born somewhere and then moved somewhere else later on, and they'll say, you know, if you're talking about where you live, and I'll be like, you're not from there originally, and they're like, no, I'm not. Well done. And I'm like, oh, I can hear, you know, a wee bit of Irish in your accent or whatever. I've got a good ear for stuff like that, but I think it's just because, say, for years I've been, you know, talking to people on the phone. But I'm very interested in accents though, and that kind of thing. I've kind of lost my windows now. The challenge that I've got here is because of this sort of metallic element of Frank, it's kind of mixing in with this paint, so it's giving me a bit of a, I'll say it's giving me, I've given myself a harder job than I probably needed to here, but that's okay. It's kind of half the fun. So this is going to be dark because it's facing away. From the light source, which obviously is our moon. Our black moon. I kind of want to put a little bit of this out on her. Right, this might be better. So this is good because this has separate facets, so we can be very specific about this. So technically that would be the darkest one. I say I'll pop the windows back in. If they disappear completely, I'll pop them back in with a Posca pen or something. And then on this one we can have a slightly more diluted side. So just run like more like a wash over the top of that. And then we can keep this side, although it's slightly obscured by this, you know, we'll try and keep it as consistent as possible. I feel like if this one's higher up, that would be lighter, because it's going to get more. Park the car in a Harvard yard. Oh, that's hilarious. Love it, guys. I'm not just looking at the chat, I'm looking at this on the monitor here because I seem to find it easier to pick up on things that I need to change. Like I think it just gives you like an extra pair of eyeballs basically. I think I want to put a lot more, I make this really dark in here, but do it gradually. And we'll get some texture in there because that's clearly trees or something in there, isn't it? Like, oh. Oh. How terribly exciting. Right, let that dry and see what it looks like. Yeah, this is better. This is like, I'm feeling this a bit more now. He's snoring in his hammock, Thea. That's funny. I have to say, do you know, it's kind of strange not having any bodies in with me. I feel kind of alone. I feel kind of alone. I'm so used to having Jock with me all the time in here. Let's say when we take a wee break, I'll go and get him. I would like to finish putting these shadows in. Right, question for you, because it is 7:30. Time flies when you're having fun. Do you want to stick with this or do you want to switch to something else? Because I appreciate that some of you might not be into colouring books and or painting, and there's quite a number of you in the chat that I wasn't expecting. I'll stick a wee poll up, and God, I sounded really Scottish there. I'd just stick a wee poll up, and you can answer yes or no. I mean, I know it's me that's doing the kind of artwork here, but I'm happy to switch, but I'm also happy to keep going as well. And if I wasn't, I wouldn't ask for your input. I would just do whatever the heck I wanted to do. So I'm happy. But I mean, for those of you that are in the streams regularly, you know that we're very interactive here as much as possible, because that's kind of the point of live streams as far as I'm concerned. Like, if you can't participate and have input, then, you know, I don't know, it's a bit boring. I'll keep going. Oh, 92% of you are saying, yeah, well, okay then. I think that's that decided. All right, that's fine. Right, well, what I'm going to do, I've just realised I've missed a balcony there, and there's no paint on that at all. Oh, come on, Jem, get it together. Right, let me just... Oh, that's really annoyed me because my brush is very purple. I do have another flat, obviously I've got another flat brush. Somewhere. I actually think I've got some watercolour brushes missing. And when I say missing, I mean I've put them somewhere and I don't know where they are. I seem to be really thin on the ground. I seem to remember having a lot more. I did get rid of a lot of brushes that I wasn't using. Let me just take... It doesn't even need to be a flat brush, to be fair. I'll just grab a wee sea white brush, I think. There's a number 4 round. It's not, again, not that that's important at this stage. And I'll just grab a wee bit of Frank here. Just to put in. Don't know how I missed that because I'd literally like painting past it. We'll leave Jock in his comfy bed. He's got beds everywhere, Jan, like, and they're all comfy. Like, he's got tons of beds. He'll be wanting to come through though, I think. I hate to shock you, but you always sound Scottish, Jem. I know, but sometimes I sound really Scottish. Like Mr. Jem comments as well. He's English, and he's got quite a thick accent. And sometimes the phrase that he uses is jock and ease, referring to Scottish sounding. And sometimes he'll say to me, "Yeah, you sounded really jock and ease just then." And it's if I say something. Because obviously, like when I'm doing the streams and when I'm doing videos and stuff, although you know, this is me, this is who I am, I do enunciate a little bit more than I would if I was just like talking to my family or you know, whatever, because I realise that we have a lot of people that don't have English as a first language and or aren't used to listening to a Scottish accent. So sometimes, especially if I use like, you know, proper Scots words, Mr. Jem's like, "Oh, you sounded really Jockinese there." I'm like, "Oh, thanks very much." So there are certain things that I say and I think to myself, yeah, that's really, like, really Scottish and funny. My favourite phrase that I wouldn't use, you know, in videos and things is if if someone's talking rubbish or you just don't want to listen to them, you know, you just can't be bothered with them. You say, "Oh, away and shite." It's just like, just go away. You're talking rubbish. Like, I use that quite a lot in like my day-to-day vocabulary. Um, and that's obviously a very Scottish thing. But I mean, my accent in general is not that thick compared to others. And it's just where I was brought up on the West Coast. That's just, you know, this is just the way we speak. But my brother says to me a lot though that I have lost a lot of my West Coast accent, and I mean, I've moved about a lot, but I've been on the East Coast for 10 years, so you know, the kind of like the corners have been knocked off my West Coast accent. But if you hear me next to an East Coaster, I still sound very West Coast. But West Coasters say to me, "Oh, you know, you've started to lose your accent a wee bit," which is not particularly useful. But I always find stuff like that quite interesting. Again, just back to the accent thing. But I've moved about a lot, so it stands to reason that you know, I may not have quite as much of my original accent as I once would have had. And it's really funny when you meet people, they're like, "You're not from round here," and I'm like, "Really? Well done." Polly's New York accent has softened greatly. However, occasionally someone will say, "Oh, you're from New York. You left over 20." Yeah, it never disappears completely. Same for Elise. Lived in the Midwest. Used to, well, again, because the Boston accent is really strong compared to a Midwest accent. So yeah, I get that too. Do you know, I think it's really funny y'all are commenting and like, "Oh, you love my Scottish accent." It's really funny because, you know, people all the time say, "Oh, like this is the first video of yours I've seen. I love your accent," and I'm like, I love that people are here for the thing that I've got no control over that automatically comes out. It's like, yeah, I work really hard on my accent. It's like, sod the art. It doesn't matter whether it's substandard or not. We're just here to listen to you. It tickles me a little bit. And I like that people like my accent. I mean, that's a nice thing to hear because I mean, when you're doing this, you're talking a lot, so it's helpful if people like your accent. But I just find it quite funny. It's the one thing I've got no control over, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is great." Like, okay, that tickles me a wee bit as well. Oh, you can get it in Geordie too. Had a main shite. Yep. Hello, Michelle. How are you? Yay! We've got another Aussie on board. Watercolor. We're talking about accents, Michelle. That's funny. Oh, that's so good. 6 p.m. in South Australia. Good grief. Oh, we've got a little Oz cohort. I love it. It makes me happy. See, you guys and the Kiwis, you guys were like the first people I thought of, you know, when I thought about doing this stream, because you're almost opposite. Like there's almost 12 hours of a time difference, and I know for a lot of you that's just, you know, you're not going to get to you're just not going to get to a stream. So I'm really really glad. Good morning, Lioness Feather. How are you? I sent an email. Angela's cousin's wife is Scottish, and he says he sometimes can't understand her. And she says she can't understand him. You from Yorkshire? See, I really like the Yorkshire accent. Mr. Jem is from Lancashire, but he spent a lot of like his early adult years in Yorkshire, and some people mistake him for a Yorkshireman sometimes. But I find the Yorkshire accent very like comforting, like a very safe accent to listen to. Like I really like it. Michelle's been busy helping her mum renovate her kitchen. You're the flat pack queen. Oh god. Amazing. That's really good. Oh, right. Okay, let's get these shadows finished and then I'm going to take a wee quick break. and I'll carry on when I come back. So that's going to be pretty dark in there actually. That was the other thing I meant to do. I don't know why that's popped into my head right this very second, but it has. There will be a live stream on Wednesday for the European stroke this side of the time zone people. We will be having a work in progress Wednesday this coming Wednesday. There will not be one the following Wednesday, which is the 19th. Obviously I'll post that up on YouTube and whatnot, just to remind you all, but that just popped into my head there because there's quite a few of you that participate on a Wednesday also. I'm going for a haircut, but I'm going for a colour as well, so I don't know if that should have been dark because the moon's kind of like, yeah, okay, never mind. I'm going for a colour as well, so I'm going to be there all day. So no time for live streams that particular Wednesday. Right, so that's going to be a bit darker. I feel like this should be darker as well, but I'm kind of enjoying the contrast between the two. See, I'm kind of making up my own rules now, and honestly, I'm not that bothered about it. So the shadow is going to be on this side, and I'm just going to pop that in there. So I'm going more for the idea of a shadow here rather than trying to get it technically correct, because these rings are in my way and I don't like them. So I've never there was a phase, see, when when adult colouring was like kind of like the new trend, and there was loads of people taking like really nice books and taking them to Staples, having the spines taken out and making them into ring bound books, and I was just like, oh, this is sacrilege. Like I was like, please don't do that. But because they wanted the books to lay flat, whereas now a lot of the colouring books are stitched, you know, they're bound to lie flat, the same as sketchbooks. And that really upset me because I absolutely hate these, and they like the gaps in it. Oh. Anyway, like, rant over. Thanks for listening. I saw the email. Sadly, overhead light wasn't great for taking photos, so I plan to do that once it's lights out. Yeah, no problem. No, absolutely no rush. No rush whatsoever. Yeah, the Yorkshire accent is very broad. I think that's part of the comfort of it, though, Angela. Even after 30 years in the US, people will say, oh, I love your accent. I get so caught up in the accent they don't actually hear what I'm saying. Grantham. When I was in the Midwest, can you actually repeat? Like, yeah, they were asking you to repeat yourself because they just wanted to hear you say it again, not because they didn't understand you. Yeah. Yeah, I've had that a few times. That's quite funny. What were you doing in Grantham, Polly? A reasonably generic English accent. Mum is okay. She's just waiting now. She's had everything done that she needs to have done. Like, she had to have a lot of diagnostics and, you know, poking and prodding. She's had all that now, so she is literally just sitting waiting for a surgery date. We're hoping that is going to be forthcoming. She's had her pre-op. So here you go for a pre-op assessment, and basically they make sure that you're fit to have the whatever procedure you're going in for. So that has got like an expiry date on it. So a pre-op only lasts 12 weeks. So that tells us that she's going to be having surgery in the next 12 weeks. We're hoping it's going to be a lot sooner than that. But she's actually pretty good in herself. They've adjusted her meds, and that seems to have helped a lot because she was really unwell. She's a bit more active. I mean, obviously, like, you know, her heart's not working, so She can't do a lot, but she's able to get up and move about herself, and she feels better in herself. So that like is really positive. So although it's, I mean, it is very serious and she's very unwell, but she feels a lot better and things are moving in the right direction. So thank you for asking. She also told me to tell all of you that she really appreciates the fact that you've all asked after her, and that you're sending her pink other hands and all this nonsense. She really appreciates it, and she thinks it's lovely that she's got support from all these people that don't really know her. So she told me to send you all a big mama hug. Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we'll get there. I'm just thinking about this wall down here, and I'm going to put another layer of Frank down because I feel that this is too light. Like the moon might be doing whatever fancy things it wants to do, but this really is, you know, it's facing away from the light source. It's much further down. So I want to make that darker with Frank first. See, look how opaque this is. Opaque. I don't know what I'm doing with that bit in there. I haven't got that far yet. Oh, we've got proper bit of shimmer there, look. Yeah, I'm having a great time. So good. There we are, it's light outside now. What time are we on? 7:45. Wowee. I'll probably let the stream go on a little bit longer than 8:30. That doesn't look any darker to you. There we go, it is. Like a painting on invisible paint. Yeah, she's been told, Elise, that well, it's a bit more complicated because there's three things going on, but the main one is the valve. She's got a dicky valve. It's not valving. They don't know like how bad it is. They know it's pretty bad, but they don't know whether it's fixable or whether she's going to have to get a new one, and they won't know that until they get in there. But also she has an irregular heartbeat as well, so she's getting an ablation, which is basically where they scar like part of the chamber, and it's supposed to stop the irregularity. So yeah, there's a few other bits as well, but the surgeon did say to her that she should, if all goes well with the valve, she should be able to go back to leading more or less a normal life, and she'll be able to go back swimming and, you know, do all the bit. So, and it's although it's quite a major and serious operation, it's quite a routine operation, a valve replacement. So she's not to be concerned, you know, they're not in groundbreaking, you know, exploratory territory or anything like that. So the prognosis is fairly good. If the valve fails, that's a different story. But the success rate of the actual surgery for a replacement valve is very, very high. It's like in the high 90s. So yeah, I mean that we're optimistic. We were stressed, like all when I say we, I mean like mum, dad, myself, Mr. Jem. We were really stressed about it when we didn't know what was going on, and you know they were saying she was going to have to go for surgery and stuff. Because obviously, someone you care about, you do panic a bit, especially when it's your heart. Because if that stops working, I mean, well, you kind of need that, don't you? But we're a lot more level-headed about it now that we've learned a bit more. We know what's going on. So yeah, I am hoping at least that she will be back to maybe not firing on all cylinders, but maybe like 95% of the way there. That would be good. It was the live stream of the Scottish word she popped in for. That was one of her favourite things ever. I've never heard her laugh like that, and of course most I've laughed as well. One of my close friends was out for supper and had a massive stroke in the restaurant. She spent a week in ICU. See, like honestly, I'm more scared of strokes than I am of heart attacks, because strokes can be devastating. Well, obviously, like heart attacks can be devastating as well, but strokes can leave you with a lot of things. If you survive, it can leave you with a lot of things that can affect you permanently for the rest of your life. Like, I'm scared of strokes. Heart attack, if you have a really severe heart attack, it will kill you. If you recover from it, you can have surgeries and stuff, and a lot of the time things are okay. Yeah, that is scary. Right, and on that very delightful note, I don't know what I'm doing with this yet. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to take a wee break. I'm going to go and make myself another cup of tea. I've only got a little slug left in the bottom there, and it's stone cold. So I will have a quick intermission, and when I come back, we'll start adding in a bit more colour, and we'll bring this to life a wee bit more. So I don't know what you're going to do in the intermission today. I mean, are you still going to talk about what you're having for dinner tonight? Because for some of you, it's way past dinner time. And for those of you around my time zone, it's really early to be talking about dinner. I'll leave you to ponder that, and I'll catch up with the chat when I come back. Okay, we're back. Ah, that took a little bit longer than I suspected. Apologies. I do have a fresh cup of tea now though. Okay, so we've just augmented the usual conversation to breakfast choices. I approve. Porridge or Weetabix? Oh, Weetabix. Oh no. Ugh. It's like eating cardboard. Pancakes for breakfast? Oh, now you're talking. Dangerous. So we've got a Pepe over here, and Jock has placed himself in this bed. So there we go, normal configuration, everything's better. Right, I think I had a wee think about this when I was through there, and I think that I'm just going to put darker purple over, like darker than we've done here, down here, and maybe make this a little bit lighter but not much lighter. I think that might be the way to go. A Dutch baby is similar to a Yorkshire pudding, or am I thinking of something else? Welcome back, thank you. A Dutch baby. Oh. It's like a Yorkshire pudding but sweet. Of course it's sweet. A pancake that puffs in the oven that you then take out and rub with lemon sugar. Oh, that sounds amazing. Are you going to bed, Laura? It was really lovely to see you in the stream. Thanks for coming in, and I hope you sleep well. I need to go steady with this purple colour because it's a bit wayward. Oh, that's just sinking in there. Oh, that's not taking that well at all. I think I've got too much shimmer. You know, I think it's like it's creating like a resist. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's just like sinking in there. Oh well. You only find these things. Oh no. You only find these things out if you try. So here we are. Let's just we'll put a little layer on anyway. It doesn't look terrible, to be fair. That's Mr. Jim away out to work. He's not very happy because it's raining. I'm like, you live in Scotland, it's February. Like, surely you should be used to this by now. He's got to go and plod about in the wet, so he's not right amused, as he would say. Like, yeah, well, it sucks to be you. I'm so sympathetic. I mean, if you're going to choose farming as an occupation, you know, like, come on, like, what was going to happen? I was kind of trying to put a little bit of texture in there. I kind of didn't think about angles and aspects, but never mind. It all just seems to be soaking in anyway, so you know. Ah. Hey, Jules just popping in to say hi. Go to pick up very important little people for the day. Have a good one. Messy arting. Well, I hope that's fun. Thanks for sticking your head in. You mean everyone doesn't say they're not right amused? That's one of my favourite Mr. Jim isms. My other one is if he has something to eat for dinner that he likes, he says that were a right good tea. That is the highest form of compliment that you can get from Mr. Jim when it comes to food. That were a right good tea. That one really tickles me too. Oh, that's what I was trying to get to happen over there. Oh my word. Okay, so we've clearly got very unpredictable coverage, thanks to Frank. Come on to that on that side, dang nabbit. Okay, right, let's just go with the flow. This is a wee bit of an adventure this morning. Oh, I kind of like that though. Oh, yeah. See now, if that dries relatively uniform, I can build on that. The paper's doing it. This edge is really curled up, but it kind of flattens itself out afterwards. Not worried about it. Yeah, look at that. That's going great guns in there. Jeez, oh. I kind of don't want that to be dark because there's lots of little texture marks in the line work. Okay. I suppose it's given quite a nice effect though. Kind of obliterated a bit of my butterfly as well. Right, good is just everyday speech. Walk between the raindrops. We used to get skin's waterproof. You know when you complained about getting wet, you're like, skin's waterproof, you'll be fine, off you go. Looks kind of mossy in the camera. I'll take it. I'm going to soften that out a little bit. Yeah, that looks okay. There is quite a bit of contrast between the two. Ah, see, now that first layer's starting to dry, I'm able to build on it. Okay, that's good. Right, I think I might be in with a fighting chance here of not making this look like a pig's ear. Let's pop that in there. Oh yeah. Okay. Lift a little bit of that off there and pop it up there a bit. Oh, that's nicer, right? Okay, that's much more agreeable to work with. Like, it feels more like watercolour, if that makes sense. Whereas before it was just kind of sliding about and... Oh, yeah. Okay. This is making me... I didn't think that working from this, like, directly from the pan would be a good idea, but yeah, there we go. I think I might add a little bit more. Oh dear, that was a wrong hand movement. Might add a little bit more in there and try and soften that out a little bit. So tell me about all your weekend plans. Obviously for our European cohort, that may be today's plans, and for our further afield cavers, that might be tomorrow. Well, it will be tomorrow. Has anybody got anything really exciting going on, or is anyone having a super chill weekend? In between the rings again. Ah. Oh yeah, I really like that. Like, I'm really happy with that bit. Yeah, okay. Right, I think that's enough. No, I've got here. Do I put another layer of Frank on this? I'm going to have to, aren't I? My mum used to say that we weren't gingerbread. That's really good as well. I love that one. We also say you're not made out of sugar when it's raining in Dutch. I like that one. Katara's going in a hot air balloon on Monday. That's cool. Ugh. Dreaded shopping. Oh goodness me, I do not go shopping at the weekends. That's not, well, I don't go shopping anyway. Who am I kidding? But no, you will not get me near a retail store at the weekend. Polly spent the day working on Valentine's Day treat boxes for the ladies she plays. Is it pronounced Mahjong? Mahjong? I know what it is, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. That's really sweet, Polly. I like that. Jan's out with friends today for a walk, lunch at Fountains Abbey, Yorkshire Wildlife Park on Sunday. Oh, yeah, that's fun. Yeah, that sounds like a good day. Super chill for Black Rose. Was thinking about going to the movies, but don't know yet. Well, I'm having a relatively quiet weekend for a change. We've next weekend and the weekend after, Mr. Jem is away. He is going. He's doing something very Scottish next weekend. He's going for a kilt fitting. Our friend's wedding is May, and Mr. Jem is an usher, so he has to go and get fitted for the same kilt as the rest of the groom's party. And then the weekend after that is the stag do, or is the bachelor party. So I have 2 weekends to myself consecutively. So this weekend we're just trying to get the things done that take 2 of us. We're starting to organise stuff for our new kitchen because we now have a builder for our extension, which is going to be starting in probably about 3 weeks. So we've got things that we need to do, and like joint decisions. So we're going to get all that done this weekend. So we've got a lot of organising. And then next weekend and the weekend after I can do as I please, which I'm quite excited about. Teddy's sister is visiting, going over to the other side of the island to Volcano National Park. Oh, that sounds so cool. Thea's having a recharge the batteries weekend. Yeah, I feel you on that one. I think that might be me next weekend. Michelle's on the renovation train as well. House is so old we found tree stumps holding up the kitchen floor joists and horsehair gyprock. Jeez. Ulrika's happy with no plans. This is good. Oh yeah, and Polly's got the golden doodle. She's doggy sitting. Oh goodness me. Right, okay. So now that we've got a little bit more of this, I'm going to use the dioxazine purple at the bottom of the clouds. So we are a very sort of purpley bluish theme. I was thinking about maybe a brighter blue for the rooftops. So I think I'm going to get my dioxazine in. So this is, I'm back to the Winsor & Newton Cotman colours, and this is just the straight dioxazine purple. So I love this colour, and I want to just like shoosh that in, like shoosh 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 like this. Sound effects help. Shoosh it in, and then just sort of like spread it about a bit. The bottom of those clouds. Shush it about a bit. I've got, I think next weekend maybe. Honestly, it depends on how tired I am. Because I've upped my activity levels, I have days where I just feel really knackered. So I'll see how things go. But I think next weekend I'm going to have a day of just being in the cave and just like arting and like working on the stuff that because I've got a lot of whips just now. Like there's a lot of stuff that's half finished. So I think I might just have a wee sort of leisurely day in the cave and work on some of the things that I've started. But I've also pulled out my next Lego set that I'm going to work on. So I've taken everything out of the box and I've put all the numbered bags out, but I've not actually opened anything or started it. And I don't think I'm going to have time this weekend. So I think I'll do that next weekend, and then the following weekend I think I'm going to have a computer game sesh. I want to go back to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm like halfway through the main story, and I think I want to crack on and get that finished, which I will not do in a weekend, not by any stretch of imagination. It's a huge game, but I think I would like to have a wee crack at that. So I've kind of got my weekends planned out, which I'm moderately excited about. The sound effects are always good. Whips, not whips, that's a whole different weekend. Yes, it is, Jan. You might want to speak to Mr. Jem about that. There may be some of that involved in his weekend. No. A bit early in the day for that. I was telling the guys in the Discord last night. Yesterday I went into the nearest town, which I hardly ever do because I hate shopping, but I had a few things to take care of, including sorting out a hair appointment for myself. And I have lived here 18 months now, but I don't venture out much. Yesterday I found a shop, a physical store in the nearest town, and they are a framing shop, so they specialise in handmade picture frames. And what they don't tell you until you actually walk up to the shop front is that the shop's huge, and part of it is a scrapbooking shop. Like specifically, they stock art supplies as well. They stock Winsor & Newton products, but it is literally shelves and shelves of scrapbooking materials. I walked in and I was like, how did I not know about this place? So I got talking to the lady in the shop, and she was telling me that you've come at the wrong time. The shelves are all bare because there is a scrapbooking retreat on in Swindon this weekend, which is down in the south of England. It's very far away from where we are. And I was like, a scrapbooking retreat? Apparently that's a thing. So she said what they've done is the owner has taken most of the stock from the shop down with them, obviously to sell and use for the workshops or whatever that they're doing. So she says that like half the stuff that's normally here isn't here, and I was like, that's probably a really good thing. So I'm really excited, but she was telling me they stock the Winsor & Newton paints, and if I want certain colours of gouache, they'll just order them in for me when they're doing their Winsor & Newton like wholesale order. And I was like, oh, this is like music to my ears. So I think it was fortunate in the sense that if everything had been in that shop yesterday, I would probably have spent an obscene amount of money. So it was probably a good thing in that sense, but I was also like really, really sad because seeing the masses of open shelves and the kind of stuff that they keep, because obviously there was still a few bits and bobs there, I was like, oh, I need to come back here. So I actually have a scrapbooking shop in my local town, which is amazing. So that got me really excited yesterday, and it kind of made me feel like my endeavours, you know, my wee trip out was worth it after that. So definitely going to go back. I would like to speak to the owner though, and see if they would let me maybe do a wee video, you know, like do a wee tour of the shop or whatever. I don't know if they would be up for that or not, but I thought that may be quite nice because I've never come across a shop that is specifically dedicated to scrapbooking stuff. Like never. It's always like art and craft shops or. So I thought that would be like quite a nice thing. So I will venture back probably when I go and get my for my hair appointment. I'll maybe pop in and see if I can speak to the owner, because as far as I know, the lady that was there, I think she works there, but she's not the person in charge, as it were. So that'll be quite interesting. But I did get, if they're sitting here, I'll show you just because they're sitting here. I did get some pipes. I've never seen anything like this. Like, I'm sure for those of you that do, you know, paper crafting and stuff, the things that you get online, it's all very much of a muchness. I've never seen these before, so I'm quite excited about the pipes. I don't know what I'm going to use them for. But also after the last stream, we decided I was going to do a Beauty and the Beast inspired like gothic page, so I got these tiny little flower embellishments. So cute. So I bought them yesterday. I was like, yeah, this is going to be an expensive trip out if I'm not careful. Blessing in disguise, yes, Michelle, I definitely feel that way. But say, like, half devastated, half delighted. Polly's on a no-buy. Okay, yeah, so data warehouse development field. Wow. That's a new one. I'm not sure I know what that means. But yeah, I can understand you've got to temper things a little bit. There's other things that have to be budgeted for first, isn't there? I was kind of thinking about that as well, because once work starts on the house, there'll be purchases needing to be made, and it's quite random things. Like, we really need a new microwave. Our microwave works, but it is ancient, and it's not, you know, it could really do with that being replaced. You know, there's stuff like that for the kitchen that I'm going to have to consider. We also need to buy an extractor hood for our cooker, because it's our own cooker. But it's a different size to the one that's in the kitchen just now, so we're gonna have to buy that, and those are not cheap, not expensive. They're not cheap at all. So I may have to refrain from visiting the scrapbooking shop once the work starts on the house. We'll see how it goes. I've realised as well that going to get my hair cut, that's not cheap either. Man, I'm gonna be poor. I have recovered from Pip's vet bill though, so that's always something. Because that was an expensive affair. Always is. Everything with the dogs is expensive now though. Jock's medication for his itchy skin's an absolute fortune now. The prices just kept going up and up. But obviously it's a necessity, and we don't want him suffering, and we want him to be in the best shape that he can be, especially now that he's an older gentleman. So, you know, some things take priority. It's totally not worth having pet insurance for him though, because of his age, because he's an ex-working dog. They want crazy money, so we just put money away every month. Not as much as they want for him for insurance, obviously, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of not getting insurance. But that works a lot better. But the funds were depleted. Pip wiped us out. So back to saving up again. Good morning, Susan. How you doing? Polly mostly uses her air fryer. Just giving it a waft. Yeah, there's something about, like, I've got a thing about older dogs. Like, I like having older dogs. Most of you will remember Woo, our Jack Russell. She was 17 when she finally left us. And yeah, I've got a lot of patience for older dogs, and Jock's kind of, well, he'll be 13 on his birthday, so for a working collie, that's fairly good going. But he's getting dead, like, sort of ploddy and slow now, and he's just like kind of like dithering about. But it makes me love him even more because he's just Jock. He's my boy. But he does quite a lot of staring into space now. You know, he's away in his own wee world. I mean, it might be a wee bit of like doggy dementia kicking in, because sometimes he sits and stares at the wall as well. But you know, he's just at that age where, you know, something's going to get him. So we just look after him as best we can. That's all we can do. Just adding in a little bit darker. I suppose I'm kind of making my own clouds here. But I want this darker and down the bottom here. In this little hidey hole here. We're very purpley. I realise that I've completely abandoned what's going on down here. I will go back to that in just a minute. I'm having fun with my dioxazine purple for now. I was hoping to be up earlier this morning, but decided I was doing the 2:30 to 4:30 Wide Awake Club. Oh yes, I know it well. Okay, I'm a wee bit happier. That's really pale in there. That's too pale. So go back to my purple wake. Still got some in this little. Right, I'll leave that and see how that dries. Okay, good. Let me just jump back down. Why? Steady. Let me just jump back down here. I'll get another layer of Frank down on there, I think. And then we'll try and kind of tie this in a bit more with what's going on here. Frank. A bit more water. Water. Polly's Maltese goes into the bathroom and yells at the toilet. Oh bless him. So what's a sort of average lifespan for a Maltese then? I take it he's getting up to the sort of top end of the range now at 14. Or are they like Jack Russells and just like live forever? There was a man when Pip was a puppy, so that was at the original cave. I took Pip to the vet one day. I think she was just going for boosters or something like that. There wasn't anything wrong with her. And we were in the waiting area. And I don't know who was older, the man or the dog, but this man had a Jack Russell. And apart from being really round, this is the Jack Russell, not the man, the dog seemed to be in fairly good condition. So the vet called him through, and the receptionist, I mean, this is like a rural vet practice, so it's really small, and like there's 2 receptionists, so you get to know them, etc. Anyway, the receptionist was telling me that the man's Jack Russell was absolutely deaf as a post, but apart from that, there was actually nothing wrong with the dog, and the dog was 21. 21-year-old Jack Russell, and the reason that they were in at the vets is because the dog was putting on a lot of weight. But obviously the owner, who was, I mean, he must have been in his late 80s at least, obviously not exercising the dog very much, but he was like giving the dog the same food as he was eating for dinner. So the dog had just got really fat because he kept feeding it. And I was thinking to myself, if our Jack Russell lives to 21, she's going to outlive Jock. I was like, oh no. 21 years old, that's crazy. I believe he has a fairly good life, so 18 to 20 years, good grief. Hi Susie, how you doing? Yeah, well, technically I was going to go till 8:30 and it's 20 past just now, but I'm going to run on a little bit because I feel like we're making progress here, so yeah, hello, nice to see you, welcome. I have to say now though, I feel a bit odd because it is nearly 8:30 in the morning and I'm still in my pyjamas. Normally I'm dressed by now, but in the spirit of the stream, I shall stay in my pyjamas until the end. Right, okay, so I'm thinking now about blues for these turrets, and I don't think I should go shimmery. I think we're kind of, you know, between the actual castle walls and the sky, we're kind of good on the shimmer. So do we go, if I just lift this down, we've got turquoise and we've got cerulean blue. I was thinking maybe cerulean blue, and then we could use the Prussian blue as like a shadow colour. I've got indigo as well. The indigo's quite nice in this set, so maybe something in that sort of ballpark might be nice. Yeah, Polly's in her jammies, well I would hope so. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I'll try this cerulean blue and see what happens. If I don't like it, I can always change it. I don't know if I feel like that's vibrant enough though. I don't know how I'm feeling about this. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. That's a pretty colour. Yeah. Angela's been dressed for an hour thinking of breakfast. I'm just hoping it dries up a bit so I can take the two dogs out for a WALK. And we'll go for a little wander today. I don't run on a Saturday, so I tend to take a slightly longer WALK. So we'll be doing that today. I will do. I've been doing like an online. It's like interval training and boxing. I've been doing that a couple of days, so I'll do that later on and then like get in the shower. But see boxing. Oh my word! Like it amazes me that I can run 4 miles, but I can't box for 15 minutes without feeling as if my lungs are going to collapse. Like it's a lot. So it's just little short classes. I think the longest one's 12 minutes, but a lot of them are like 7-9 minutes. So I usually do 2 of those and then an interval training one of about 10 or 15 minutes, like squashed in between the two. So that seems to be quite good, and that's working well for me just now because the weather's still really iffy here. Like there's days where it's not necessarily the best idea to go out running, so I can always change out one of those workouts with my planned run instead. But long run on a Sunday, so out tomorrow morning. Planning on doing 4.5 miles tomorrow morning. Planning. We'll see how that goes. We shall see. Oh no. Okay, that was a bit dramatic. Come on now. Don't ruin it for me now. Might as well just spread that all the way across. I don't know if you can hear the little birds thumping about on the feeder outside. So I'll need to top them up. My squirrels haven't been back. I don't know whether they're using up their resources that they've buried, like because they stash lots of bits and bobs in the garden. They are floating about in the garden, like I still see them, but they're just not coming up to this feeder. So I don't know whether they've changed their minds or whether it's just, you know, they're in a routine and that's what they do. Because they do planka, like they bury things in the lawn. And quite often Pip manages to sniff things out. Right, okay. I would like some suggestions on what to do about this. Do you think I should just use like a normal grey colour? Any thoughts on that, guys? Oh, Susie's up ready for work. Oh no. They can spell certain words. The reason I'm spelling that one out is it's only Jock that's in here. He's asleep. So that's why I'm probably getting away with it. Pip has disappeared. Pip can absolutely spell those words. The other one that we can't use is BISCUIT or BALL. That's another common one. Just making sure that she doesn't come like barreling through. Yeah, there's quite a few. But when Jock's asleep, I spell it just in case, you know. Oh, this purple's playing with me. Like, whoa, come on. What? Oh, good That doesn't look anything as the page either. How unpredictable. I don't even want to try and dilute it out, do you know that? I'm just going to let it do its thing. I've got a really purple corner. Okay, fine. Fine, I'm over it. I am over it. See, that side looks much better than that. Oh. Right, everything's purple, we get it. Ah, good grief. Right, I'm going to pick out a grey colour. I might just take some ivory black and water it down. Oh, you've got a Kelpie, Michelle. Yeah. That is a no-no. It's an old castle and a dragon threw up there long ago. Love it. That's a good one. I like that. Okay. I think the Payne's Grey is going to look really out of place. It might not though. I think the ivory black's going to be too flat. Okay. I'm going to see how this goes. Not convinced. I should maybe have gone with the indigo. Yeah, it does look really out of place. Urgh. Okay. Okay. I feel like the indigo's a better choice. Okay. Yeah, definitely. See, this is what happens when you don't really plan stuff out though. So I can't really complain. However, I feel like it's I think it's good to do it sometimes because it quite often by doing things in a more exploratory fashion, you know, sometimes you learn a bit more that way. You know the old saying, you learn from your mistakes. And I quite enjoy this. I say everything else I do, I'm very organised, I'm very regimented, so it's nice to just go, let's see what's going to happen. Why not? It's one of my favourite phrases when I'm arting. It's like, why not? Because why not? Nobody's going to die. Might have a bit of a naff picture when you're finished, but yeah, I'm much happy. That's, yeah, okay. Obviously, I'll do a bit more to that. I just wanted to get some colour down there too. Got this little section in here, here. Blah, blah, blah. That's the most appropriate sound effect for in between the in between the rings. Blah, 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 blah. That was maybe a bit much. Yeah, I'm going to soak some of that. Okay. I feel like I'm getting somewhere now. Whoop. Someone mentioned in one of the streams, I think that might have been last Wednesday, about me making sound effects when I'm painting. Mr. Jem can tell me I do it when I'm playing computer games as well. My favourite ones are Kablamo, That's obviously when I want to blow something up. Pew pew, that's when you've got like a little pistol or something. Pew pew. Apparently I use that one a lot. And then when I see something big and scary that I want to run away from, it's I was not aware of this until the other night, until he pointed it out to me. Thanks for coming in, Polly. Have a nice sleep, and I hope the doodle sitting goes well, and I'm sure we'll see you again. The secret potions vomit wall. Bye, Black Rose. Sound effects are amazing. You don't want to know the sound effects for Mario Kart? I will preface this by saying apologies to anyone that does have Tourette's, but we talk about Mario Kart Tourette's. Basically, people that normally wouldn't have a potty mouth, the minute you start playing Mario Kart, you turn into a sweary sailor. It happens to most people. So Mario Kart's like separate. That doesn't count in the grand scheme of things in terms of gaming sound effects, because that is just a lot of swearing. When I worked on the Mysterious Space Caves, that when we were talking about it. Maybe mix some of the turquoise from the rooftops in with the black. I don't have any. What black? Do you mean round here? I need you to elaborate a wee bit, Caspia, because I'm not following you. I think it might just be me not getting the gist of what you're saying. Right, okay, so now, while we're waiting for that to dry a little bit, I'm actually going to stick with the indigo, and I'm going to do something with these rooftops. Ooh. This is a bit more predictable because we're not using fancy schmancy Julia paint, so this should go a bit better than the turrets did. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! This is a great way to start a Saturday. I haven't done this more often. I'm really looking forward to putting my clothes on though. I'm not really one for sloping about in pyjamas. It's not really my thing. I like to be dressed. Get into the old jeans. The ongoing jeans saga. I have in the last 2 weeks I've tried on no fewer than 18 pairs of jeans. I have one pair that I ordered online that fit me, and they don't really count because it's the same brand and style as the ones I normally wear. Like the skinny jeans, they're just in a smaller size. So I don't feel like that really counts, but I've only been able to get one pair in my leg length because I have very short legs. So I have got one pair that fit me, and out of all the rest of them, I found really, really, really wide leg jeans like I used to wear in the late 90s, and I bought them in 2 sizes. The larger size fits me just now, and I've got a little bit of room in them. So I've kept the 2 sizes, and I got them in a short leg length, and they're still too long. I have taken them to a tailor, and I'm getting them taken up so that at least I've got another pair of jeans that fits me properly. So the saga continues. However, I've got a really nice pair of flared jeans, and I can get them on and fastened. They're still a little bit too tight to wear all day, but if, like, say I was going out for like coffee, not that I ever do that, I could wear them for a couple hours and I'd be okay. So yeah, I just wanted something that fits me properly now because I'm sick of everything being ill-fitting. So the jeans thing is not going well, but I've been talking to quite a lot of people, and it seems to be a universal problem regardless of your shape or size or leg length. They're like, jeans just don't seem to fit women anymore. So clearly it's not an us problem, it's a them problem. Am I right? I'm getting really fed up with it though, because I literally live in jeans. Like, that's all I wear. I like this one the best. Katana makes her own sound effects in front of clients. That's maybe not the best time to be doing it. Lioness is making her own trousers because it's impossible to find any. Yeah, okay. Lioness feathers too tall for most trousers, so it's the opposite problem. Well, see, now this is the thing, and that's one thing I have to say. As someone who is short, I can always get things taken up. Obviously, for lengthening things, you've maybe got like a couple of centimetres tops in that shoe, so I feel for you, I really do. My mum's best friend, Canadian Pauline, I'm sure some of you remember her, she's no longer with us. Pauline was excruciatingly tall, and she really struggled to get pants that fitted her. That was an ongoing thing for her. She's 6 foot. She's a very tall lady, and she had very big feet as well. She struggled to get shoes. And we introduced her to the shop in the UK called Long Tall Sally, and she was in heaven. The stuff, I don't know what it's like now, but Long Tall Sally used to be really good quality stuff. I mean, it was expensive, but you got what you paid for, kind of thing. And they stocked much larger sizes of ladies' shoes as well. She was delighted when when she found out about that. She's an extremely tall lady. And here's me at like 5'3", like, hi. Oh, you're that tall too? Like you are a tall thing. Oh my goodness, that must be exceptionally difficult. And like the thing is though, like I know it kind of varies by country as well. You guys are known for being tall though. You guys in the Swedes, you're just a tall nation. But even 6 foot for a lady is tall. It's really tall, isn't it? What's that in centimeters, Lioness Feather? Yeah, Thea's 170. Like I'm 160. Well, I am Dutch. I am Dutch. You're tall for a Dutch lady as well, yeah. 183. I mean, like that. Like you're the same height as my husband. It's mental. Absolutely mental. Love it. Well, see, the thing is as well. I've got the Italian side, and Italians are not renowned for being tall. My nonna, so my dad's mother, my Italian grandmother, she was 4'10", so she was like super tiny. So I mean, I was stuffed before I started anyway. My mum's kind of like average height. She's at about 5'5", so she's reasonably tall for a lady. So I think the combination of genetics there has left me not completely tiny, which is nice. But yeah, the struggle is real. It's not even that as well. The when it comes to things like trousers, quite often I find that the petite ranges fit me better. Just overall, apart from the thighs, like I have thighs. I see, even when I'm slim, I have thighs, and I'm never not going to have thighs. And they seem to think that if you're petite, it means that you can't have curves, and that, like, you can't cater to everyone. But I don't feel as if I'm a particularly odd shape. Like I'm actually quite in proportion. I've got an hourglass figure. My hips and my bust are fairly even, and it's really annoying, finding something that fits you around the waist, but you've like can't sit down. Do you get asked to help reach the top shelves in the stores too? See, if I saw you in the supermarket, Lioness, I would 100% ask you to get something off the top shelf for me. Angela's daughters are all under 5 foot. Oh, you've got some wheeze. Hello, a touch of sparkle. How are you? Lovely to see you. You do get asked, yeah. On the other hand, I can store stuff on top of the fridge and actually reach it. Yeah, do you know, that's something I'm actually quite thankful of, although I'm carrying extra weight. It's kind of a curse and a blessing at the same time. When I put on weight, it distributes itself evenly everywhere. So although I'm bigger, I'm still in proportion. But the problem with that is you don't realise that you're putting weight on until it's too late, because it goes on quite evenly. It's not noticeable until it's really noticeable. but I'm also thankful for it because it keeps me in proportion. So I don't know. Anyway, but I just have to. I'm at peace with it. I've very much got the Italian genes when it comes to my shape and my build, and I am just a short, stocky build. Although I've got a small frame, I've got muscular thighs. I've got really big feet as well. I'm a UK size 7, so I think that's a European 42. I might not be right, but I have got big feet for someone of my height. But I'm at peace with that. I don't ever think I'm going to be this skinny little waif-like thing, which I kind of struggled with when I was younger because a lot of my friends were like really skinny. And I don't want to be like that now, but I do need to be a smaller version of what I am because I am too big and I am in an very unhealthy BMI. So I need to look after my health. But yes, I'm at peace with the thighs. They shall ever remain, and that's fine by me, but I'd just like to be able to fit them into a pair of trousers, that's all. I don't think that's too much to ask. I do think that the lady in the alterations place was saying this yesterday as well about how ridiculous the sizing of clothes are now. Just the fact that even within the same store and sometimes even the same line of garments, that the sizes are just all over the place. And she was saying that she's been the same weight for quite a long time and her clothes sizes in her wardrobe range over like 4 different sizes and everything fits her. And that's frustrating for me just now as well when you're trying to lose weight. Like, it's really difficult to gauge what you should be getting. And I'm not really bothered about what the label says, but it just doesn't make it easy to actually buy things and take an educated guess because you've got no freaking idea what's going to turn up. So I get kind of annoyed about that. But again, like, what do you do about that though? And I'm sure it's worse in women's clothing, but I think men's clothing's going the same way as well. There's been a couple of things that Mr. Gems bought, and I'm like, that's never a medium or a large or whatever. Like, okay. I have the same problem with waist, thighs. That is the other reason I'm making my own trousers. I can see why trousers are a thing for you. Artijo's wheelchair goes up to nearly 6 foot. That's amazing. That's a great, like, that must really help for accessibility. Like, that's fancy. Ooh, you're so fancy. There's a really good alteration trick where you cut a small V from the waist down an inch or 2 onto the seam to make the waist tighter. Let me think about this. Cut a small V from the waist to make the waist tighter and not affect the hip or leg fitting. I will bear that in mind, Michelle. I'm kind of, yeah. I'm kind of like, I'm just in this transition period just now. That's like, I'm just very in between sizes. I'm hoping it won't last long though. Like, if I lose another little bit, I might be able to get into the smaller size a bit more sensibly. It's just really annoying just now because obviously I've gone through this period of just everything I put on looks terrible on me because it's either really tight or really baggy, and I can't seem to get anything in the middle. But it'll pass. It will pass, and everything shall be okay. Thea's going into weight loss 2.0 thing on Monday. I'm calling it 2.0 because everything else so far has just failed me. The new hip and trendy weight loss program. Yeah, honestly, I think it's just about finding what works for you. I know what works for me because I've done it once before. After I had my ovarian surgery, I was very, very heavy. I was just inactivity though. I like physically couldn't move about, and I was still eating like I was running 40 miles a week. Like, what did I think was going to happen? But I think a lot of it was pity eating as well, and then chuck some hormones in for good measure, and well, you get the picture. And I managed to lose most of that weight. So I know what works for me, but I think as well it helps having exercise that you enjoy, and I honestly genuinely feel for a lot of people within physical capabilities, obviously. A lot of people just haven't found the exercise that they like yet. I, for one, never thought I would be into yoga. Like, I never thought, because I'm a really, like, aggressive, you know, see if I'm exercising, I want to feel like, you know, like my lungs are going to burst. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, if you're going to make the effort to push yourself, I want to be, like, practically unconscious. Otherwise, there's no point. Like, I might as well not make the effort. So I did not think I was the kind of person that would enjoy yoga, and I love yoga. Like, I really, really like it. It's so chill, it's so zen, and it really helps with your flexibility when you're doing other exercises like running. Improves your core strength as well. I have zero core at the moment. I found that out the other day. So yeah, I like, and like, try everything, and you know, if you, when you find the thing that sticks, it makes not even losing weight, but maintaining your weight and also your mental well-being, it really, really helps with that. So I applaud people that keep trying, but you got to try all the stuff. Try all the things. It's a bit like art supplies. Try all the things. Oh, we've got a little. Oh, it's 1:47 a.m. Thank you for the $5, Indie Kitty. That was really nice of you. You hate the texture of denim against your skin. You're lucky you'll be able to wear them. Clothes should fit and be comfortable. We had a conversation not that long ago, Indie Kitty, about with me, it's I don't like fabric around my wrists, and I've done it already. I'm okay with watches and bangles and bracelets. I hate fabric against my wrists, and yet I'm fine with it everywhere else. So it's funny how some things just, and I know, like, sensory things is a lot, especially if you are neurodivergent or if you have certain allergies, skin conditions, that kind of thing. Like, wearing clothes can be a problem. And it's not a good problem to have, because we kind of have to do it, don't we? So I sympathise entirely, but I spend my life in denim, really do. There's no reason not to. Farmer, work from home, fart about with art stuff, you know. Right, okie dokie. What time are we at? We're nearly at 9 o'clock. I am going to have to think about calling time on this just now. I think I should put some really bright green down the bottom here just to finish us off. So I'm going to go for sap green, just because it's nice and light and bright, and we can tone it down and work it down if that's what we want to do. So I'm going to go for this big Raven brush. So this is the size 0. Give it a wee rattle about in there. Oh, I'm going to try and squeeze a little bit of water out of this though. It does suck up a substantial amount of water. It's a great brush though, I love it. I might have to replace this sap green at some point. It's looking a bit sad in there. Right, let's go. Oh, yes. Oh, it's so fun. Love it. Oh, Jock's snoring. Well, there's a wee bit of cobbled something or other there. That's exciting. I never noticed that before, just at the front of the entranceway. Entranceway? Yeah, we'll call it that. Why not? Yeah, Jock's snoring. So yeah, the rest of the colours that I'm going to pick out, I'm going to stick with the bright colours because I do want this to be. But I like this sort of contrast between the shady bits and the not so shady bits, even though we've got a black moon. But yeah, okay, let's just stop there, let that dry for a wee second. Clothes are a joke now. I'm glad you think so too, aren't it, Jules? It's not just me. 26-inch waist. Oh, you've got a weeny waist. A 34 inside legs. So you've got great big long legs as well. Trying to find clothes that fit her name. I'll bet it is. Jeez. Oh, you like bike riding? Yeah, that's fun. That's enjoyable. As long as you don't get run over by Mr. Jem in his tractor, because that's nearly been a thing once before. Needless to say, I don't ride bikes much anymore. Thea likes soft fabrics, so Thea's the opposite. There's things that she... That's interesting too. Angela's going to love you and leave you out. Yes, but we'll not be far behind you, Angela. Far behind you, Angela. Grandson, taken for breakfast. Ah. I'm glad you enjoyed the early morning live. I've enjoyed myself as well. That sounds fun, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, I think we can safely say that today was a success. There's still 20 odd of you in the stream just now, so yeah, that's really good. I think this has been a worthwhile endeavour. It was really nice to whip this book out as well, because I haven't coloured in this book for years even, and it was really nice to just kind of like have a little doing that. I've got some sparkly on the go. In fact, if I take this off now and do this, you can see that there. Like, so our gnat's sparkling away up the top, doing a job for us, and we've got this lovely sheen on the buildings as well. But say the rest of the paint colours now I'll keep quite, they won't have shimmer in them, because I suppose, I don't know if there's something like too much shimmer, but I feel like for this there could be, and we'll keep the rest of the colours quite bright and vibrant. We've got this little butterfly here as well to do. So overall, yeah, I think this has been a good shout this morning. If we'll see how it goes. If we have back a bit, Jem. For the Wednesday stream, there's a little core of people that are there most weeks. If we have the same thing for the Saturday morning, I might do it a bit more frequently. I can't commit to getting through and getting set up here for 6:30 in the morning like every Saturday. That's a bit much. But I would definitely do another one if there was enough interest for it. Obviously I'm not going to set up for something like this for 2 people. But yeah, I think we'll maybe talk about that, and we'll maybe put a poll up on YouTube or something, and just see if it's something you want to do again. We'll maybe do another one. Unicorn barf, okay. Oh, Jan's trying out our new shower. Oh, unicorn barf. I know I can always rely on you guys for a good bit of humour. Yes, right, pink udder hands for everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to go put some clothes on now. Maybe have another cup of tea before I go for a WA, okay. Take it easy, guys. There will be a stream on Wednesday next week, as I mentioned. I'm also planning on having a video out in the next maybe 4 or 5 days, so you can keep your eyes peeled for that. And I'm also working on the Cave Discoveries video, the first one for February, so that will follow suit at some point after that also. Righty McCoho, I shall see you all again soon. Have a great weekend, and yeah, go and play with art stuff or something. See you all later.